The sound of sorrow. Taha Muhammad Ibrahim's aunt in disbelief over their family's loss. He was such a loving boy, she says, her heartache prompting relatives to explode in anger. We want punishment for the shedding of our children's blood, this woman says. Taha's father appears composed. His eyes tell a different story.
My son was intentionally killed by bullets. That was not accidental. We want retribution. If my son had crossed the border and was shot dead, I wouldn't have said anything. But for him to be killed by enemy fire on our own soil, that is just unacceptable. It's a shame not just for me, but for Egypt.
Muhammad Ibrahim says it's only fair his son receives in death the dignity that long eluded him in life. And for the grieving father, that's nothing short of an eye for an eye. Outside the Israeli embassy in Cairo, Taha's brother takes the family's anger to the street. Here he joins protesters who've been camped out for a second day in a row.
If the government and the military cannot protect these men, they shouldn't be sending them out there and putting them in harm's way. We want our rights.
And it's not about monetary compensation, he says. It's about the demands repeated by these protesters, the expulsion of the Israeli ambassador, the closure of the embassy. Mounting public opinion pressure resulting in relations between Egypt and Israel witnessing the worst crisis since the Egyptian revolution.
Egypt's relations with Israel are being seriously tested. The controversial 1979 peace treaty between the two countries questioned. Scenes like these outside the Israeli embassy in Cairo under ousted President Hosni Mubarak would have simply been unimaginable. But now it's the sound of the street that's louder, not diplomacy.
Egypt said it will recall its ambassador to Israel for consultations, and Israeli diplomats were summoned in Cairo to protest what officials described as irresponsible Israeli actions. And the Israeli Minister of Defense has expressed his country's regret. For these protesters, that is simply not enough. Gone is the time of diplomatic niceties, they say. Rawi Rageh, Al Jazeera, Cairo.